not a coincidence. It is a return to sacred values that many have forgotten. Modern life, especially in the West, has offered comfort, convenience, and technological progress, but it has often done so at the cost of spiritual depth and moral clarity. People have gained the world, but many feel they have lost their soul. Amidst this spiritual drought, Islam is being rediscovered, not as a foreign ideology, but as a divine reminder, a guide that leads people back to something ancient, pure, and true. Islam does not offer a new philosophy, it offers timeless truth. It is not a trend of the moment, it is a return to values that once formed the very foundation of humanity. Islam speaks directly to the heart's longing for structure, for meaning, and for balance. It is not rigid, but it is clear. It is not harsh, but it is firm. In a time when morality has become flexible, Islam presents a standard that does not bend to convenience. It calls for honesty when lies are easy, discipline when the world promotes indulgence, modesty when vanity is glorified, and devotion when distraction is everywhere. These values may seem countercultural in some Western societies, but they resonate deeply with the human soul because they reflect the divine order in which we were created. That resonance is why people from all walks of life, doctors, artists, students, former atheists, and spiritual seekers are embracing Islam. They're not running towards something exotic, they are returning to something essential. This return is visible in the simplicity and beauty of Islamic practices. The 5 daily prayers, the fast of Ramadan, the call to charity, and the striving to be a better human being. These are not rituals for ritual's sake. They are anchors in a drifting world. They provide rhythm in a chaotic life. In Islam, every act is infused with purpose. Even eating, sleeping, and speaking can become acts of worship when done with intention. This sacred way of living gives life itself a sense of depth that many in the West are desperately searching for. And so what some once viewed as restrictions, they now see as protection. What once looked like burdens, they now recognize as blessings. Moreover, Islam revives the sense of community, a bond that many people in the West feel has been lost. In the fast pace of modern life, people feel increasingly alone. Digital connections have replaced real ones. Families are broken, neighbors are strangers, and loneliness has become a silent epidemic. But walk into a mosque, especially on a Friday or during Ramadan, and you will see strangers praying shoulder to shoulder, breaking bread together, greeting one another like family. Islam does not isolate the believer. It integrates him into a living, breathing, caring community. It doesn't ask you to walk alone. It invites you to walk with your brothers and sisters in faith. That sense of belonging, of being seen and valued, is a healing balm in a world full of social and emotional isolation. In the face of all this, the growth of Islam in the West is not surprising. It is inevitable. When the human heart is exposed to truth, beauty, and consistency, it responds. The rise of Islam is not due to force or persuasion, but due to its unmatched power to restore what modern life has taken away. A sense of purpose, a moral compass, a connection to the Creator, and a community of compassion. These sacred values are not foreign to the West. They are simply forgotten. And Islam is reminding people, one heart at a time, that they can return. That it's not too late to live a life of meaning. That sacred values are not a thing of the past, but a way forward to a more complete and peaceful life. The rise of Islam in the West is not a clash, but a calling. It is not the result of conquest, political agendas, or mass movements. It is a deeply personal and spiritual journey, unfolding quietly within individuals who are searching for something real in a world that often feels artificial. This calling doesn't roar through headlines or dominate loud debates. It whispers in the hearts of those who have tried everything, tasted every freedom, explored every pleasure, and yet still feel a lingering emptiness. It is in that quiet space of the soul, when all distractions fade, that the message of Islam begins to echo. A call to return to God, to purpose, to truth. And one by one, people are responding. In the heart of bustling Western cities where life moves at a frantic pace, there is a growing number of men and women who are stepping away from the noise to listen to this call. They are not being convinced by arguments alone. They are not being swayed by culture or tradition. They are not being pressured by community or family. Many of them are alone in their search. They open the Quran for the first time out of curiosity and end up weeping by the time they close it. Not because they've been emotionally manipulated, but because they recognize something in those verses, a clarity they've never experienced before, a connection to something higher, something that finally makes sense. They begin to pray, awkwardly at first, then with more certainty. They begin to change not out of fear, but out of love. Not because they were told to, but because something inside them finally feels aligned. This calling is powerful because it is natural. Islam does not ask people to abandon logic, to suppress reason, or to deny their senses. In fact, it encourages questioning, reflection, and sincere seeking. It doesn't appeal only to emotion, nor does it rely solely on ritual. It appeals to the whole human being, heart, mind, body, and soul. And that is why it is resonating so strongly in the West, where people are free to question, to think, to explore. In that freedom, many are finding Islam not as a restriction, but as a guide, not as a set of rules, but as a path to real freedom. The freedom from confusion, from contradiction, from a life without meaning. The so-called clash between Islam and the West is often exaggerated or even fabricated by those who profit from division. But when you look past the headlines, you'll find something else entirely. You'll find Westerners learning Arabic to understand the Quran. You'll find youth choosing modesty over popularity, choosing prayer over parties, choosing fasting over indulgence. You'll find people from all backgrounds, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, gathering in mosques, breaking bread together, united not by race or culture, but by faith. This isn't a clash. It's a calling, and it's not erasing Western identity, it's enriching it, offering spiritual depth to a world that's often focused only on the material. The calling of Islam is not urgent in volume, but in essence. It doesn't demand your attention through fear or pressure. It waits, it invites, and those who answer find something they didn't know they were missing. A purpose to live by, a structure to grow in, a peace that doesn't come from the world, but from the Creator of the world. This calling isn't just for a select few. It is universal, timeless, and powerful enough to reach anyone, anywhere. And that's exactly what it's doing in the West today. Quietly, steadily, and with incredible grace.